The Velar plugs a gap in, Land Rover's range of Range Rovers. It's bigger than the Evoque but smaller than the Sport. It lives on the same platform as the Jaguar F-Pace, but it looks longer, lower, less upright, and more woe, quite frankly. It's expensive, but it's its good fortune to look and feel expensive too. It's luxurious and has more off-road capability than most rivals, and then the Jag. In size, the Velar sits somewhere between a BMW X4 and X6, Mercedes GLC Coupe and GLE Coupe, and above the Audi Q5. If you can't best the Germans, then split the difference and find your own niche. It's not as tall as a Range Rover or a Sport, but you still feel elevated. And it does feel like a distinct product, whereas an Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Alfa or Jaguar crossover of this size has a cabin that's merely a vertically stretched version of those company saloons and coupes. The big news here is the display and control system. In the center console are two big touchscreens, both apparently edgeless and glossy black when the ignition's turned off. The lower one carries a pair of knurled twist and push knobs. Switch on and the upper screen is much like any other upmarket cars. It carries navigation, entertainment, comms and lots of configurable car features. It's not overloaded by having to carry the climate control though. While this display was fine when the Velar launched, it's now starting to age and Land Rover has designed itself into a corner here. The pop-out screen recess isn't large enough for the new Pivi Pro system as found in the latest Defender and Discovery 5. Climate is on the lower screen. It has very nicely rendered graphics of zephyrs of temperate air wafting into the occupants. The two knurled knobs control driver and passenger temperature. Or push them and they're the seat heaters, their markings changing to suit. Or hit the seat massage button on the screen and their markings change again, helping you turn up or down the massage's vigor. You soon realize this is a whole lot easier than using a touchscreen alone. And those wheels have other context-dependent functions, each time changing their markings to suit. If you hit a tab that replaces the climate screen by the dynamics mode screen, you can change off-road mode with the knob. To keep the Velar on pace with rivals, Land Rover has totally overhauled its engine range. And the buzzword, as you'd expect in our changing times, is hybrid. The straight 6 petrol and diesel offerings are now offered with 48-volt hybrid boost assistance, to reduce turbo lag and enhance throttle response. You know the drill. Electro-zap doesn't make the Velar's engines night and day snappier than before, but the D300 is a great all-rounder, smooth, quiet, easygoing and good for 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6 seconds, and all the in-gear shove you could ever realistically ask for in a 2-ton SUV. Wind it out a bit and it even generates a cultured 6-pot growl. Land Rover claims 38 miles per gallon, we got 32, and that was from an example just a few hundred miles old. Even if you have to shut your eyes and hold your nose when ticking the diesel box on the configurator, there's still a deep sense of rightness, of this being the most appropriate engine that the Velar was born to cradle. Of course, this is probably the last diesel engine Land Rover will ever develop. If so, it's a masterpiece to sign off on. Enough stats. What you need to know is this is a good PHEV, not a token one. You don't get the sense this is merely an underpowered petrol car with the motor from a stubble shaver shoved in as an afterthought. Performance on the e-motor alone is adequate, and the handover moment between electric and petrol is seamless. There's a real sense the electric half of the equation is pulling its considerable weight and adding potency to the powertrain, while keeping engine revs low so the fossil fuel burning bit doesn't come over all reedy and strained. Yes, it feels heavier in the thick-set steering and the body control, and you can sense the ride isn't as deftly damped as a regular Velar. It's a bit of a shame given this car's styling only works on enormous Ferris wheel-sized alloys, but not a deal-breaker. The brake pedal isn't typically mushy like some hybrids too. If you're doing city work, this is the Velar to have. Prices for the 2021 Velar start at £46,110, but the Velar you get for your £46,000 is apologetically spec'd on sofa caster wheels with all the curbside presence of a recently discarded household appliance. You're going to need to throw some money at it to get the trim, color and rims that do this shape justice. About £60,000 ought to do it.